All right, here we have number 15, a short answer question. Let's read it out loud. Dane is a manga artist. On average, he uses 22 boxes of paper per year, and he spends $159.50 on paper this year. So this year he spends that much. Our first task is to write an equation. So we're going to write an equation. We're not solving the problem. We are writing an equation. So first part here, we'll write the letter A there. We're going to write an equation for that. And if you remember, writing an equation was pretty simple. We always kind of started off with this little, I'm going to erase my A there, get rid of that. We started off with this little formula. Whoa, what happened there? This little formula where we had this. We filled in our boxes. So we know that there were 22 boxes. And we know that if you spend $159.50, that's going to go here, $159.50. 22 times the cost of one box of paper, 22 times the cost of one box of paper is going to be equal to $159.50 because he has one box of paper, he multiplies that by the 22, and he gets his total cost. So that's what we're going to write out for our equation. So we'll put the letter A here, and we will say C, let's see, 22, C is equal to $159.50. And that is our answer for part A. No need to write a sentence there because you're just writing an equation. All right, part B. Part B says solve the equation. So solve the equation. That means we're going to write it out again. So let's write it out over here. We're going to put our letter B underneath here. And we'll write our equation over here. So 22C is equal to 159.50, or $159.50. To solve it, remember we have three steps. Get the variable by itself. Use inverse operations. Whatever you do to the one side, you have to do to the other side. So right now, this operation that's going on between 22 and C right now is multiplication. We're multiplying 22 and C. So it's the inverse of multiplication. Well, that's division. And I need to divide by something that's going to get rid of the C. And the only thing that will get rid of the C is the number 1. If we can multiply 1 times C, then we can get rid of it. So how do I get 1 over here times C? Well, I have to divide 22 by 22. 22 divided by 22, any number divided by itself is 1. So that's going to leave me with 1 times C, which is C. Then we get to our third step. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Over here, we divided by 22. So over here, we're going to divide by 22. And we got to work that out over here on the right side. So 22 goes into 159.50. How many times? Well, does 22 go into 1? Nope. Remember, we're going to be using our divide, multiply, subtract, bring down method. So 22 doesn't go into 1, it doesn't go into 15, but it does go into 159. How many times? Well, it's probably a safe guess to say that 22 goes into 159 about the same number of times that 20 would go into 160. When 2 goes into 15 or 16, let's say 8 times, maybe a little bit less than that, so let's try as our guess. If we were to say 8, we would get a number that's probably going to be bigger than 160, so let's try 7. Let's try 7 here. 7 times 2 is 14, carry our 1. 7 times 2 is 14 again, we add the 1, and we get 154. I'm going to erase this for the future. There we go. Now, we subtract these, and we get 9 minus 4 is 5, and we bring down. Our decimal point has to float up there, right? So don't forget that. 22 goes into 55, probably 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. And bring down. 22 goes into 110 about how many times? Well, let's try it. Let's say maybe 5 times, right? 20 goes into 110 around 5 times. Let's try it. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10 again. Carry the 1, and we get 11. Look at that. No remainder. $7.25, it looks like, is what one box of paper is going to cost. So we'll write that out just as we said it. Dane will pay $7.25 for one box. stacks of paper. And we are done. We have written the equation, we have solved the equation, and we've given our answer in sentence form. If we wanted to check our answer, we could do that. 22 times $7.25. Is that equal to 159.50? Well, let's do our multiplication off to the side. 7.25 times 22. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 7 is 14. Bring down our 0 placeholder. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1 again. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 7 is 14. Add those together. 0, 5, 9, 5, 1. And we've got 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. So we're going to bring our decimal point in 2 times from the left, $159.50. And that is exactly what we were supposed to get. We are done.